Hi, everybody. Welcome into today's show here on JTV. It is Monday. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. We are back today. Back all new. I'm David. That's Adam. We were not here on Wednesday.
That's right.
We will not be here on Wednesday this week.
But for a good reason this time.
That's right. JTV's first ever live softball game, weather permitting.
Yeah, so we might end up being here if we have no game.
Maybe. Stay tuned to JTV.tv and some of our other shows for updates on that.
Who's it going to be? Who's going to be the two teams for the...
Coach Josh Brigette.
Yeah.
From Napoleon. I did see Josh yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Yes, and going up against Lumen Christi.
Ooh.
Head coach Bobby Rozak from Southern Michigan Bank and Trust, a big JTV sponsor and sponsor of the Monday Mornings podcast.
Thanks to him, and we're happy to cover some softball for the first time ever, high school softball.
We've gotten quite a bit of viewer mail in recent times about we need to do softball.
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yes.
You were going to say about this show. I was like, uh-oh.
Well, maybe we have about this show, too. I'm not sure. I don't receive viewer mail, so maybe we have. Yeah. Maybe it's probably a good thing. High school spring sports. We are right in the thick of the end of the regular season, getting ready for the playoffs. Some really tight standings in some of the sports. We'll start with baseball. In the Cascades, Columbia and Grass Lake are tied for first in the conference right now, 15-1 conference record each. Columbia 19-5 overall. Grass Lake 21-3. Grass Lake played Traverse City West in Traverse City on Friday, and then played against two more teams up there on Saturday. So, and then Hanover only about a game and a half back in third place at 13-3 in the conference. Manchester and Jonesville 2 games behind Hanover at 11-5. So Manchester and Jonesville, who tied for fourth, are only almost 4 games behind the two teams tied for first. So this last week or two is going to be pretty tight in the conference for the baseball standings. So overall, other two teams leading the area, Lumen Christi 18-6 and Springport at 17-3. And I actually went out to Springport this past Friday to cover some baseball. They took on Bronson, who was undefeated in the conference, their conference record going into Friday. Springport only with 1 loss. Bronson, Carson Stevens, pitcher, won the conference MVP last year. He had a really good game on the mound in Game 1 for Bronson, and he hit a grand slam as well, batting. So that's what you get.
A grand salami.
Yeah, that's what you get with smaller schools like that. Is not every school has players both pitch and bat, but they did in that case. Springport won both games, though, so now they are first in the Big 8 Conference. 6-5 first game. Drew Sanford, who pitched for Springport, 11 strikeouts, hit a home run, too, batting. They had a late rally in both games. They scored 2 runs in the 7th inning to win the second game, too, 4-3. So some really good baseball out of Springport on Friday. And on Saturday, they had baseball, softball, and soccer round-robin tournaments all at Springport Saturday morning, too. So it was pretty busy out there. And in softball, leading the area, Columbia 20-5, Grass Lake 22-4, Hanover 27-3, and all 3 are in the same conference. So that's really tight in softball, too.
Tough conference.
It is.
That's like what it's like here in Jackson. We have a lot of tough conferences across the board in a lot of sports. We talked about that, during basketball season, even football season. We got a lot of talented teams here.
Well, and I think we're going to have Josh Brigette on the show again soon. We don't have a date yet, but we'll let you know.
Yes.
I think that's the toughest part for anybody besides those 3 right now to even compete as far as top of the conference. I mean, not just Napoleon, but in this example, Napoleon coming in here, he's first-year head coach, but they're only a couple games over 500, and that's really only because of how tough this conference is. So
Yeah. No, but I mean, looking at these records, my goodness. I mean, both in baseball and softball, extremely talented teams.
yeah, both Columbia and Grass Lake baseball and softball are both at the top of the conference, and Hanover baseball is doing exceptional as well.
Very good.
So
Yeah.
a lot of good sports in the area, and girls soccer, Columbia, and another sport too. They lead the Cascades Conference at 10-2 and 1. They're actually in second place by conference record. Manchester in first, and Western tied for first in the IA Conference still with Battle Creek, Harper Creek. And in the next week or two, we'll have our new Saturday Spotlight article on our website too, jtv.tv, presented by Picture This Jackson. We'll actually be highlighting the Western girls soccer team. Do you know they have 4 sets of sisters on the team?
Really?
They do, between
No
JV
kidding.
and varsity.
Wow.
So that's been cool to follow and highlight. So
Yeah.
we'll have that for you pretty soon on our website as well. And for the 5th straight year in a row on Friday, Grass Lake girls track and field dominated the conference championship. So longest streak ever now by any team in track and field in the conference. So congratulations to Coach Taylor and Coach Cole and Grass Lake. 5 years in a row, girls track and field Cascades Conference champions. And the regionals are this Friday already. So postseason already beginning for some sports. And May 30th and 31st are the state finals. So, and back to girls soccer really quick. Their playoffs start next week on Wednesday, the 21st. This Wednesday is the 14th. Next Wednesday, the 21st, girls soccer playoffs begin, and we'll have that schedule for you on our website this week at jtv.tv. Before we get to signing day, where I went out to the metropolis of Parma last week.
You went out to Parma, huh?
I did. Wednesday afternoon last week, I
Hey.
went out there for their college signing day. I'll have more details on that in a second. But first, high school lacrosse. That's it's a new sports area, and it's a fun sport.
Yeah. I've never played, but it looks like fun. It looks like you need a lot of cardio, similar to like soccer or something like that. Like a lot of running
Track,
around the field. Yeah,
cross
my
country.
goodness. Yeah.
I will say that is, other than hockey, probably the hardest sport to shoot, though, because the ball
You're
is
right.
just,
You're right.
it's moving so much.
Yeah.
So shout out to Noah for trying to shoot lacrosse.
Just putting this out in the world, but it'd be cool someday for us to do like a live lacrosse game.
Yes.
You know, that and soccer would be the two sports that'd be
We
cool
would
to
just
eventually do.
need. Now, I would be able to do soccer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do
Right.
lacrosse.
We would need somebody that maybe knows lacrosse a bit more to be able to do it. But if we find like an alum or somebody like that,
if
like,
Matt Kibbe's watching.
hey, Matt Kibbe, hey, do it. That'd be awesome.
So before we get to signing day, we do have some lacrosse highlights. They played last week at home against Penfield from Battle Creek. So here's some highlights of lacrosse from JTV Sports. So thanks to Noah Baker and our JTV Sports crew. Lacrosse photos, too, online on our website at jtv.tv. So back to signing day. Went out to Western last Wednesday afternoon. So on Wednesday, Western High School hosted their college signing day for their seniors to be honored to continue their athletic careers at the collegiate level. You know, most schools have maybe a couple college athletes, maybe a couple handfuls, depending on if it's a really good athletic school. Well, guess how many athletes from Western are playing in college?
How many?
26.
Whoa.
13 different schools.
Wow.
5 for football, 8 for track and field, 4 soccer, 3 bowling, just as the top highlights. 3 Division I athletes, all 3 for football.
That's so
Reed
cool.
Myers, the quarterback, going to Duquesne for football.
He was good. I remember he was good.
Yep. Kobe Tripp, long snapper, going to Ball State.
That's awesome. But you know what I say? You got to know ball if you're going to Ball State.
Balls.
No. What is wrong with you?
Road to Glory on NCAA. You can have Ball State, and he can be on the team.
That's right. That's right. We got a couple players. I can't wait. We're going to have to do a segment when 26 comes out. About that.
26 is coming out. I forget the exact date, but it's coming out in July, and I already pre-ordered it.
Did you pre-order it?
Yes,
I hope you didn't
did.
pre-order the version that comes with Madden. Sorry, we're going to go off topic here, but I hope you didn't pre-order the one with Madden, like the Ultra Edition or whatever, the big edition. It's like $100. Oh, did you really?
I ordered the $100 one. I don't think it came with Madden.
Then maybe that's the 150 version. Yeah, that's
I'll have to
probably the
look
150 because
during the break, but
I'm boycotting Madden.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you whatsoever.
The last one I got conned into getting just because it was like, I should get it because it'll be cheaper to get because I'm going to get both.
Yeah.
And I think I played like 2 hours.
I think that'd be the only reason why I would get it is just if it's bundled and it's cheaper than buying both games separately.
It is, but to me, it's still like not worth it because I barely played that game. Like I've told you in the past, and I know you know this. I've told other people this is like it's like running around with ankle weights on when you're playing Madden, and then you take them off when you're playing college football. It feels so much better. It's so much more smooth. It's just
and it's much more. What would you call it? Quick.
Yeah. Which college football games were always like that, which I understand why, but it's
like
just
the
it feels so
running
much
of the players and the movement. It's much more. Basically, you're not wearing an ankle monitor.
And I love ankle monitor. I love
ankle weight. Sorry, I said ankle monitor.
That too.
Sorry.
No, that too. That would.
I'm on house arrest.
No, yeah, that would slow you down as well. But and I love Donovan Edwards, but there's no way Donovan Edwards should feel better and more dominant than Saquon is running, and that's how it feels going back and forth between those two games. So
yeah, and the cover athlete curse. You know how normally it's a thing.
Who
on
is it this
Madden?
year?
I'm not sure, but last year it was definitely a curse for NCAA because Donovan Edwards didn't get drafted.
Yeah,
the people were on the cover.
Yep.
The other one was
Travis Hunter in Colorado. They had a bad season.
Right, but he was still the number 2 pick and won the Heisman. So he was the only one.
this.
Now the other two was Donovan and then Quinn Ewers, who I thought was going to get drafted second round, maybe third round, and he didn't go till the seventh.
And lost in the SEC championship. Big heartbreak, right?
Yes.
In overtime.
Yep. So I bought the $100 one,
okay.
and it comes out at the end of July. But I don't know if this is the one with Madden or not. I'll have to look.
Okay, yeah. But regardless, we're gonna have to do a segment where we look at the players. We kind of flip through and we can look at the rosters and see which local talents are on those rosters. I'd be interested in seeing.
Yeah, because we'll have. I don't know if Duquesne will be on there because it's their FCS.
Yeah, they wouldn't be, but you could still get.
And same with Wayne State.
Yeah,
but Ball State is on there. Cadell Williams, Toledo,
they're on there. It'll be fun to play as Cadell
and
Williams. That's cool.
I think that's the only two.
Can you take random question? Can you do Road to the Show with a current player? Or does it have to be a created player? Do you remember?
I'm not sure.
I don't play Road
That'd
to
be
the
a
Show
question for Austin because he plays Road to
That's true.
Glory.
Yeah, that's right. I said Road to the Show. I've been playing a lot of Road to the Show.
You've been playing a lot of the MLB The Show?
Oh yeah, that's.
I don't even have that game.
Oh dude, you should get that if it's like on sale.
It's a little late now.
No, you could probably you know when you should buy.
Probably get it for like $30 now.
No, But All-Star break, they usually run deals. So when it hits the All-Star break, you could probably get it for like half price.
And that's not that far away. That's only July.
Yeah, so we're right around the corner for that. So yeah, you should do it though. It's an awesome game. I play it too much. Too much.
We do the podcast and we play MLB The Show.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. I
Clean living.
Yeah. Well,
maybe. So 3 Division I athletes, 2 Division II athletes.
oh yeah,
from
that's
Western.
right. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, we're doing a show.
Yeah, that's
and
sorry.
9 athletes are playing at Spring Arbor. All 8 track and field athletes, Spring Arbor, and a soccer player going to Spring Arbor. So, congratulations. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say they got a good athletic program over there at Spring Arbor. They got a lot of good athletes there. I mean, we just did the award show for them. And were you there at that? I can't remember.
It was not.
It was,
but I did watch part of it on JTV.
Yeah, it was a good show, and I mean, like that showed you how many good teams they have. I mean, they raised the banner for I think was it the I can't remember who it was, but it was team just won national championship for
bowling.
Them. Bowling, that's right. I was gonna say bowling. Yeah, so it's like they got a lot of talented people there. So they just keep getting more and more talented.
Baseball had another good year.
Yeah. So
men's and women's basketball.
That's right.
Now they just need football out there.
That's right.
So we can do live Spring Arbor football on a Saturday.
I like that.
So congrats to everybody from Western. So 26 athletes.
Wow.
I've never heard of that many.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Wow.
So 13 different schools. And I didn't write down how many different sports, but I believe 6 to 7 different sports. Track and field, soccer, basketball, football, softball, esports, golf, bowling. I'm probably missing one.
And that's something we have to do too. I would love to cover some sort of esports thing. That would be
on this show? Or
I mean that too. I think we should include esports. Now we're talking like we're behind the scenes, but I would love to include some more esports coverage on the show because it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I would love to do some sort of, doesn't have to be live, but I would love to do some sort of esports, JTV sports collaboration because it's sports.
Yeah.
You know.
Do a Fortnite stream.
Oh, dude, I would love for that. Fortnite. You know what would really
No,
work
I'm
well?
kidding. I don't like Fortnite. No, thank you.
Wait a minute. You don't like Fortnite?
No.
Dude, Fortnite.
Absolutely not.
Fortnite is life.
Third person, like 8-year-old shooter Xbox.
What are you
game.
talking about? That's like that's one of my main shooters. Yeah. Fortnite is awesome. I'm going to challenge you on this. Fortnite's great. You can be like Indiana Jones running around killing people. You can be like, I have a Snoop Dogg. Like it's crazy. It's ridiculous how many different skins there are. But yeah, you know what game would translate well to? It already is an esport, but for an esport for the area would be like Siege. Because
I don't know if any schools now play Siege. Most of them, a lot of them play League of Legends, Overwatch,
Smash. I know a lot of people
Smash,
and then Rocket League, which I was going to say
Rocket
earlier,
League. Yes,
that would probably be the best.
Now I have played
crossover.
Rocket League before. No, I'm not very good
bad.
at it.
I'm really bad. My buddy is really good at
Me and
Rocket
you,
League.
Rocket
Dude.
League.
Oh, it'd be bad.
Filler show in the summer.
Yeah, that'd be fun. You know what would be cool with that would be to see, which teams, because I think J High might do it, to get one of those athletes on to try to give us some tips because, we're pretty bad at Rocket League, so we might need some tips.
I do know the coach for esports at Grass Lake. I had him as a teacher.
Oh, then let's chat after the show because I would love to be able to.
Yeah, we got to take a break here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Coming up on the rest of the show, the Alglick Baseball and Softball Classic tournaments are this weekend.
Nice.
Plus NBA playoffs. They were really bad over the weekend.
I only saw one, and it was a blowout. So
OKC, really low scoring, and the Pacers blew out the Cavs by 84 points.
Would never have 84.
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were serious. I was like,
they were up by like 45 at halftime.
Yo, that's still terrible.
Also, soccer highlights, girls soccer highlights later in the show. Jackson Christian and Springport. Derek Carr retired. That was
a shocker.
Shocking news.
Yeah.
So now they're even really bad in their quarterback room.
My goodness.
And Lumen Napoleon softball coming up on Wednesday.
Yeah,
so
heck yeah.
We'll get to all of that when we come back on JTV. Welcome back here on JTV. I'm David Rice. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency and Pataki Orthodontics, PatakiOrtho.com. You know, I forgot to ask you earlier. You sound sick. Something, you all right over there, brother? Something wrong?
A little hoarse. I went to a couple pro wrestling shows last week on Wednesday and Thursday.
Oh.
Went to Detroit, stayed down there.
That's where you were at.
Yeah.
No, I knew that. I was kidding.
Oh, it was a good time, but yeah, I think I was yelling a little too much at everybody that was wrestling. So,
well, I first talked to you earlier this morning. I'm like, damn, something's off.
Yeah, the more that I'm talking, the better that it's sounding. But I was yelling a lot, and I wanted to ask
some beer skis and some yelling.
Well, yeah, so that's what I wanted to say. So I went. It was at the Masonic Temple. It was AEW at the Masonic Temple. That's where this shirt.
They had it at the Masonic Temple.
Yeah, because they film their television shows usually in front of a smaller audience.
Oh, okay.
But the owner came out and said he wants to go to wants to have a pay-per-view down there, and he said we got a little bit bigger of a building across down the road, so implying Little Caesars. So that would be cool.
And everybody's
Oh yeah, we were all going nuts.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you. I know you can't drink yet, but how much do you think
legally?
Correct. How much do you think? Thanks for specifying. How much do you think a beer was at this show, at the Masonic Temple? Just like a normal like a normal draft beer, like I don't know what that would be, a 16 ounce or whatever.
Just like in the regular plastic cups.
Yes.
So, I think most of Detroit arenas or stadiums are on the more expensive end when you compare it to other teams. Like, I think a Lions game is like $13.50 for one. It's like something like that. It's ridiculous. I would have to say $12.
Dude, it was $16 for a beer.
What?
Yeah. Now here's what's crazy. It was $16 for a beer. They also, not like the other stadiums where they only take card. You can do cash, but it was easier to do a card. So I got 2 beers when I got there, scanned the card. It defaults to a 25% tip. Like,
no,
if you don't change it, it's automatically 25%
before you
tip.
put the card in.
Yeah. So
and you did. Now, obviously, you didn't know that.
Well, I think I might have noticed it the first time I did it. But I always tip. Usually, my rule of thumb when I go to bars or any place, it's like $1 per beer, especially if they're just cracking open a beer or popping open and handing it to me. Like, I'll give you $1 per bear.
That's fair.
Yeah, it defaulted to 25%, and it's like that's way more when it's like you're buying two.
So $16, 25% would be $4.
Yeah, which is crazy to me, and the fact that like
just give you a beer that's a $4 tip
by the last beer I was getting. Like I didn't even like look at the screen. I was just like signing my name and just hit go because I was looking to get back to my seats.
Yeah, let me get 2 more.
Yeah, so it's just like to me, it's just not.
See Adam walking around.
Oh yeah, I had to have a guy because the way that Masonic Temple is, they have like these big doors that you can go up to the section, and it's like I'm walking up with 2 beers in my hand. It's just like I can't get the door. And luckily, a dude was walking out. And I was just like, oh, can you get that door for me? And he's like, oh, yeah. Then he looked at me. He's like, oh, dude. He's like, I'm definitely getting the door for you. He's like, you got your priorities straight. I was like, dang right I do. But, yeah, it was a terrific show. I know people might have their own opinions on pro wrestling, but...
Yeah, just ask Noah his opinion.
Oh, yeah, or Austin. But if you have a chance to go to a show like that isn't like a super small show... Well, thank you. I'm glad you don't have an opinion. If you have a chance to go to like a WWE or an AEW show... Take that opportunity to go to it. It's way better watching it in person. It's tons of fun. The atmosphere is awesome. So, highly recommend.
Now they have that on TV, right? Or is it streaming?
Yeah, that was on TBS and it was on Max as well, so you can stream it on there. And we are on camera. If on any of the wide shots, we're sitting there in the first row of the balcony. So.
Oh, so you guys are pretty visible.
Yeah.
Then.
Oh, yeah. Anytime they did a wide shot, or anytime like somebody was talking in the ring, and the shot was like you could see behind them. Oh, you could see us sitting there. So, yeah, it was cool.
So that was a good weekend then.
It was a very good weekend. Yeah. Tired, but good weekend.
Yeah.
But this is the last thing. I know we got other stuff, but have you ever been to Sheetz?
No, but I've heard about it, and I've seen so many people talk about it, and the I think it's new. New one opened
Yeah.
in the Detroit area.
right next to the airport, and we didn't know.
Or more than one
Yeah, just one in the
one?
airport. It's the only one in Michigan, but we
in the airport.
Yeah, no, just outside the airport.
Okay.
So, but we didn't know. We wanted to get a hotel like close to the airport because it's a lot cheaper, and we were looking at food options, and we were like, "Isn't there a Sheetz somewhere close? Like, how far away is it?" It was literally like a quarter of a mile away from us.
So it's walkable.
Dude, and it was so close. And we went there. We went there in 2 days. We went there 5 times.
Oh my
2
god!
days. It was awesome.
Now, it's pretty much the same concept, but I have been to Wawa before.
It's very similar to Wawa.
Same thing, except with Wawa, you at the gas pump, you can't order from there like Sheetz.
Yeah, and that's
That's
cool.
the only difference. But besides that, everything else I think is same concept. When I was in Florida last, there's a Wawa. Like, our house is right off the main road, which is right off the highway, I-75. So off that main road is where the Wawa is. It's not walking distance, but it's a mile.
Dude, it was so good. Next time you're in that area, you gotta go. Like, and it is very. I went to Wawa. I was in Florida for a work thing for us, and I ordered from a Wawa, and it was really good. But like,
Yeah.
dude, it's open 24/7. So we got back from the show, we were able to go there. It's like,
We went at like 2 in the morning, and then
and that's what's. And it was so busy when it was like midnight. It was so. busy
it was
there.
still busy even at 1, 2 in the morning when we went. But we're in such a really busy area, Sarasota, Siesta
okay.
Key, right around spring
Yeah.
break time. So
We
that's
got-
why it was packed.
We got a
but-
good smorgasbord of items because it was like we went there for
Smorgasbord?
yeah, we went there for a lunch, a snack, we went there for dinner, and then we went there for breakfast the next day, and then I think we had like another time where we got a snack for the 5th time. So
Yeah.
it was definitely got to go. Definitely got to get the quesarito if you go there.
The hell is that?
Have you ever had a quesarito from like Taco Bell?
Do they have that?
Oh yeah, dude, open your eyes and get a quesarito from Taco Bell. It's awesome. They like it's a quesadilla, and then they put burritos like.
See,
make
I
it
like
into a
these kinds of
burrito.
discussions. I know this is a sports show, but we could fill a regular random podcast
When we
with
were-
just stuff like
when
this.
we were driving around, me and my buddy were listening to 97.1, and they had a discussion.
By
for,
the way,
like-
they're getting worse. Sorry to
this
interrupt
ties
again.
with this. No, go
No,
ahead.
no, no. By the way, they're getting worse and worse. They are just terrible. And anything, and it's always been like this, but they're all MSU homers. So like when Sharon Moore self-imposed,
Oh, it was
they were all over that.
all over them.
Yeah. And
Goodness.
Mike Valenti's like, yeah, take Harbaugh's khakis, rub them all over yourself.
Dude,
Like,
it needs to be, even we can cover MSU and we don't get super crazy about like, we could still be like, oh, we're not going to be rooting for MSU, but we're not going to outright be like, they suck. Cut to
I
me
will.
saying that. Well, I know you will. I will say that about Ohio State easily. But speaking of that, so we were driving around and my car defaulted to 97.1 just because I'm originally from that area. So it's like I usually
Right.
have that as like a preset. And I forgot what they were talking about before, but we were getting back from Sheetz and we pulled into the hotel and we were just sitting there for a second watching the planes take off and stuff, which was cool. And they were going on and on about like random food items for it had to be like 30 minutes. They're like, and it was
I think occasionally they do like some sort of draft.
it was like they would just be silenced for a little bit and they were like, you ever have bagel bites? And the guy was like, yeah, bagel bites are pretty cool. And it's like, what about
The
Lunchables?
frozen ones in the box?
Yeah,
Those aren't bad.
they're kind of bad, but I think homemade bagel bites would be way better. Like an English
Well,
muffin.
anything homemade would almost be better.
True.
but-
Yeah, because I mean, you can get those for like $3 or something
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, it was just an odd discussion. They were just talking about random food items for a long time, and for a second, I was just like, man, it reminds me of of this show. I
You
was
can
going on
even get
tangents.
97.1 in parts of Jackson.
You can like usually by
More
my house.
east.
Yeah, I was gonna say by my house, it's like a little bit more kind of it breaks up a little bit more when you're
Yeah.
there. But yeah, you can kind of get it around here. Definitely once you start hitting the freeway and start going towards Detroit, it comes in a lot better. But
That or usually I listen on Odyssey. the
yeah,
app.
I was gonna say
So-
I think I have that on iHeartRadio. I think when I
Okay.
want to listen, but usually it's just for Tigers games and stuff like that.
Right. So, enough of our food
How
discussion.
funny. Food
By
and
the way,
wrestling.
no, I got to ask because now that we're already talking about this.
Sure, we got
What's
time.
Maybe. What's the queso? What was it? The quesarito? What
Yeah,
is that?
quesarito. So it's like
I've literally never heard of
it's
this.
like a quesadilla, but then they put the burrito fillings in there and then roll it up. So you're eating like a quesadilla
So it's essentially just a rolled up quesadilla.
with like the fillings of a burrito inside it. So you have like the
Yeah, but
melted,
most things you can fill a burrito in a quesadilla, same kind of
yeah, but
stuff.
this is like in burrito form, and it's like it's got like that cheese in there, so it's got like a core of cheese on the outside. Dude, it is so good. Like you should get sometime next time you go to Taco Bell, which is probably going to be soon. Take my advice and get a quesadilla.
All right.
Dude.
You call me out on my Taco Bell trips like
Hey,
that.
if I could have Taco Bell all the time, I would. But
Hey, man, I'm just saying, these Friday baseball games,
that does it to you.
they go late for a reason,
Hey,
so I can hit Taco Bell on the way back.
You need a fourth meal.
A fourth meal?
Yeah, that was Taco Bell's slogan. It was like, "Oh, come for fourth meal," because it'd be like midnight. I've had plenty of fourth meals in my day over at Taco Bell.
I only eat 2 meals a day, so
Well, yeah,
it'd be third.
Sure.
But now back to our show.
We just did the 97-1 thing. We literally did.
The Al Glick baseball and softball tournaments is this weekend in honor of the late Al Glick.
That's awesome. And the football camp is coming up as well. That's around
yeah,
the corner.
that's just over a month away,
Yeah.
June 14th.
Everybody make sure to sign up for it because it's
Yep, get your
super
kids
awesome.
signed up for
Yep,
it.
and you'll see us running around there as well.
Yep, and a surprise Michigan football player or coach always shows up.
I'm still hoping one day they're going to have Tom Brady show up. Just crossing my fingers. You never know. You never know.
You know, we're going off again. I'm sorry,
totally
but you brought up Tom
Yeah.
Brady. Did you see somebody asked him? I don't know what podcast he was on, but he regrets doing the roast
Does he really?
because he didn't realize at the time when he agreed to do it how it would impact his kids. Because most of the roasting was about Giselle, his ex-wife, cheating on him with the karate
you
guy.
had to know that was going to happen, though.
Yeah, but he didn't really look at it like, because at the end of the day, even though it's Tom Brady, he's still human. His kids are still just trying to be regular kids, and all they're hearing about is, oh, your mom cheated on your dad. That's the way he looked at it, and that's why he said he regrets doing it. He said it impacted his kids too much, and that's all people would talk about, or like at school or something with his kids, and it just wasn't good.
Well, I feel bad for that, but I mean the show was really funny, and I mean you got to imagine you have Tony Hinchcliffe here, you have like these master roasters here. Bad
Bert
stuff's gonna happen.
Kreischer,
Yeah.
Jeff Ross, Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah, and like you know,
They should have brought Joey Diaz and Theo Von and Joe
goodness.
Rogan there.
Oh man, that would have been crazy. I don't know if they would have been able to. Joey Diaz would have been hysterical though.
It was on
could've really laid
Netflix, so
in.
they were probably
Yeah,
allowed to air it.
yeah.
If it was on TV, it definitely
No, he
make
wouldn't
it
have been
on
invited.
You know, I think Tom Brady should just learn jiu-jitsu then and get his revenge
There
back.
you go. That's right. Tom Brady versus Tony Hinchcliffe.
Hashtag toxic. Just learn jiu-jitsu
Jeez.
and just kick his, Anyways, Al Glick Classic baseball and softball tournaments this weekend. The late Al Glick, Elro Steel, longtime sponsor and partner with JTV, so we thank them as always. In the football camp coming up just over a month. So,
yes.
last year was Donovan Edwards and Samaj Morgan.
That's right. And there was a few other like current players that were there as well, so it was cool to see all of
What
them.
are just going to show up this year?
We had Woodson here at one point. Like we've had some good
Kari
players.
Willis. I know he didn't go to Michigan.
Oh, Kari
but-
Willis was last year.
Was he? Or was that 2 years ago?
I think Kari Willis was last year. Donovan Edwards and Samaj Morgan, I think, were the year prior.
Okay. Either one,
Yeah,
one
because
or
I think
2
it was
years
coming off
ago,
of it was coming off of their national championship win. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yep.
That would be cool, though, to have Tom Brady there.
Heck yeah.
If I knew that in advance, I'd go there, even though I normally don't go to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we might
To get double interviews, one for this show, too.
there
and
you go.
talk to
I
Tom
like
Brady.
that. I like that.
So, let's start with the baseball matchups. So, it's happening this Saturday, May 17th. It is happening at multiple different locations. The first round, it's 8 teams, baseball and 8 for softball. First round starts at 9:30. Second round, semifinals and the loser bracket games start at noon, and the championship game at 3:30. So, Jackson High is hosting the baseball final, and Parkside is hosting the softball final. Jackson High School, and then Parkside Middle School for softball. So, it's not all local teams. So 9:30 a.m. for baseball. First round, J High hosting Reading at J High. Concord hosting Onstead. Vandercook is hosting Hudson versus Jonesville, and Lumen is hosting on their field against Quincy. And Lumen's hosting semifinal, more than likely be Quincy. So Lumen will take on likely either Hudson or Jonesville in the semi at noon. Jackson versus Concord, or Jackson versus Onstead, and J High hosting the baseball tournament final. And then in softball, the first game starts at 10 a.m., so 30 minutes later. J High taking on Columbia Central. I just mentioned earlier in the show, Columbia doing really good this year. Jackson struggled, so Columbia heavy favorite. They're 20-5 on the year.
Ooh, man.
Lumen hosting Reading. Their old and new softball fields will both have games. So, and then Concord playing Hudson with the championship game at 3:30. So we'll have the whole schedule of everything on our website at jtv.tv. The Al Glick Classic Baseball and Softball Tournament. And before both championship games at J High and Parkside, May 17th is Armed Forces Day, and they are going to be honoring veterans in attendance before the game, too. So that's cool. So it's 2 games for each team, minimum. It's double elimination, so there's 2 loser bracket games as well. So should be a good day of baseball and softball at J High, Parkside, Vandercook, and Lumen in Concord. So anywhere you go Saturday, there's going to be baseball and softball happening. So
I love it.
It'll be a good day. That's not too far away from you either for some of those games.
Yeah,
so
I might show up for a couple of them. Why not, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure which games I'll be at, but I will be there.
I'll see you there. I'll see you there then.
Yep.
I like it.
David Royce show at
the Glick.
At the Glick. At the Glick games.
That's right.
NBA playoffs, the Pacers blew out the Cavs again.
Crazy.
Just some generic, name players at the end of the bench playing for the Pacers yesterday. That's how bad it was. Like Ben Shepherd.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
He had like 20 points for the Pacers.
Dang.
They were up by almost 45 at halftime, and they only won by 20.
Wow.
The lead got cut to 14 with under a minute left. Not that they were going to come back and win.
I was going to say, that's what happens when you bring in all the reserves, though,
And Donovan Mitchell, the team told Shams, the new GOAT of NBA reporting, now that Woj is no longer there. He said it's a re-aggravated knee injury from the knee that was already bothering him throughout the year. Donovan Mitchell will be a game-time decision for Game 5 Tuesday night, and they're already down 3-1.
Yeah, they need all the help they can get. That's not great.
Even Mitchell, Garland, Evan Mobley, the new Defensive Player of the Year award winner, everybody played for Cleveland, and they still lost by that much.
Wow. Yeah, that's not good. They're not looking good. I mean, I thought they were going to make it to at least the Eastern Conference Finals, so...
Well, and St. Elmo's Steakhouse in Indianapolis, they called out Barkley because Barkley, he likes going to Indianapolis, and of course they do the show from that city for the conference finals. So to end the NBA on TNT's run of however many years since they've been doing it, 1989, they will be in Indianapolis, and then New York or Boston, whoever wins that series, they'll be back and forth.
Cool.
But he gave a shout out to St. Elmo's Steakhouse, really a fancy steakhouse in Indy. I've actually been to that before. It's really good. Barkley likes his steak well done.
Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Might as well just butcher the steak. Might as well just not even get the steak. Might as well just have a burger at that point. What are you doing?
Yeah. Make it into like a wrap.
Yeah,
just chop
I mean,
it
come
up.
on,
Quesadilla.
man. It's got to be. I mean, are you medium rare?
Medium.
Medium? Yeah, I'm a medium rare. Medium rare man.
Yeah, medium, depending on what place it is, because I know some places, just by remembering it, there's how they do it's a little bit different. So some places I might get more medium, but I'm mostly medium.
Yeah. It's got to be medium rare for me. You got to have the steak with pink in it. As long as it has a little bit of pink, then I'm happy.
Pink, red-ish.
Yeah.
So they actually shouted out Barkley because he shouted them out and said, "Make sure my steak's well done, brother. We'll be there soon."
What the heck?
So that's a very nice place.
Yeah,
very
yeah.
expensive,
And I actually,
but
have
he can afford it.
Oh, he definitely can afford it. I have other NBA news that I thought would be interesting. That I don't know if we haven't talked about this, so I don't know if you heard, but Michael Jordan.
Yes, I was actually going to
Yeah.
mention that at the end of the show.
Yep.
Michael Jordan is joining NBC's NBA coverage starting next season.
That's awesome. I'm so happy that it's back on NBC. They got to have the awesome theme. They
have said they are bringing back the original theme, Round Ball Rock.
Yep.
John Tesh.
That's so cool. But yeah, Michael Jordan being on there, I think it's kind of a full circle moment for that, and I think it's perfect. I think it's a perfect person to have on there.
And the old guy is not alive anymore. I forget his name, but he used to be the voice of the promos on NBC back in the 90s.
I mean, heck, even Jordan doing those would be pretty
They
sick.
are using his voice, AI generated, to still use his voice, the guy that used to do the promos.
That's kind of cool.
I forget his name, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
They're using his voice now, and AI is making it.
I'm okay with that. I know a lot of people might not be okay with that, but I think that's really cool. So I'm totally down for that, man.
Yeah. So Michael Jordan will be joining the NBA on NBC. And other sports media news, Rich Eisen is coming back to ESPN.
No way, really?
Yeah. His show every day is at the same time as Pat McAfee. So if you're wondering where they're going to do that, more than likely ESPN Radio. And streaming on the app.
Right now it's on the Roku channel, so that's fine.
What do you watch? Is the Roku
No, I mean,
channel?
like anytime I catch his show, it's either on the radio or it's on
just
YouTube
clips on social.
So at least he's on something bigger than the Roku
Of
channel.
course, he used to work for ESPN.
Yeah.
Now mostly his show and NFL Network. He'll still be doing NFL Network select games in the season.
And he's retiring soon, from what I remember Brandon telling me, is that he's getting ready to retire.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so this might be his last run.
Maybe not now, but
Yeah,
once
who
this
knows?
ESPN run is done.
Yeah, that might be it for him. But
Because he's been doing media since the late 90s.
wow.
So it's been a long time.
Wow.
Rich Eisen. So that'll be good. And it's a lot better than what ESPN has now in their lineup,
100%.
especially on the radio.
Yes,
So
100%.
when we come back, shocking NFL retirement news from the New Orleans Saints. We have new betting odds for the NHL playoffs. You're a little shocked by it.
I know. Edmonton, come on, man. My pick.
Yep, we'll get into that. We'll be right back. Welcome back here on JTV. NHL playoffs were a lot better over the weekend than the hockey, than the basketball playoffs.
You'll get there. You got it. It's Monday.
Yeah. 3 of the 4 playoff series are 2-1, except for Panthers, Toronto. That's 2-2. Edmonton won with 0.3 seconds left.
Unbelievable.
On Friday night. Saturday night. They lead the series now 2-1 over Vegas.
Team of destiny. I'm calling it.
Well, the new betting odds are out. Dallas is now the new favorite after their 5-2 win on Sunday. Dallas is plus 325.
Wow.
Carolina second, plus 350.
See, I don't understand that.
Edmonton plus 375, and Florida plus
Hey,
400.
better odds for me, so I'm okay with that. Let Edmonton keep falling in the odds. I'll take them all day.
Because you'll just win more money.
Exactly. So I'm totally good with that.
So you're not switching your pick.
Edmonton all the way.
All
I
right.
changed my pick early on. It was the right decision. I'm sticking with Edmonton.
Well, they're down. No, they're up 2-1.
Right?
So there you go. It's crazy. Like these, I mean, it wasn't an original team, Edmonton, but more longtime teams like these Canadian teams, and they still can't even beat an expansion team like Vegas.
It's crazy. We were talking about that earlier
Vegas
today.
winning hockey.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier today. It's crazy that, like, it's been so long. Like we talked about last show, I think it was like been since like 92 or 93 since the Canadian team won. So it's due. Connor McDavid needs a Stanley Cup. So Edmonton's going to do it. I'm telling you.
And in NFL news, due to his shoulder injury still affecting him, Derek Carr announced his retirement over the weekend.
It's sad. That's very sad. But he's made his money. He's made his bag.
Of course, people remember him from the Raiders,
Of
not
course.
really with the Saints.
Of course,
'cause
that was
they
his.
were
That was his.
bad.
That was his big run. But good for him for going into retirement, seemingly healthy and nothing too terrible to end his career. And we'll just remember him for his pretty darn good years in Oakland. And yes, I'm calling him Oakland.
Well, it was Oakland.
Yeah, exactly. So
So now the 3 quarterbacks for the Saints. Are you ready?
Spencer Rattler's still one of them.
That's one.
Okay.
Didn't they Tyler Show, who they just drafted from Louisville, and Jake Hayner.
Interesting.
That's really bad.
Yeah, that's bad.
That is really bad.
Well, is the door
Worse
open?
than they already were.
Is the door open for Aaron Rodgers as a possibility now?
God, I hope not.
I mean, people are pretty set on him going to the Steelers, and they need help in the
I
quarterback
think it's
room.
pretty much a handshake deal. Nothing written down or released yet, but I think it's looking like Aaron Rodgers in the black and gold instead of the green and gold before he retires.
Now, real quick, will the Saints be the worst team this season?
No.
Who do you think will be the worst team? I mean, there's a lot of choices out there. Some people still say the Browns could
Tennessee
be
Titans.
Yeah,
Even though
not
they'll
bad.
have Cam Ward.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, it's still rookie quarterback first year. If he's not like a Patrick Mahomes type, it's going to be hard. So.
Or the second would be New York Giants.
Yeah, it could be.
So
Yeah.
I don't see Carolina being as bad as they were. I mean, look how they ended last year.
Yeah, I know you keep saying that. We'll see.
Now they won't win
They might be
division because that's Tampa
I'll say
Bay,
5
but
wins. I'll say they get 5 wins.
They won, I think, 6 games last year, 5 or 6. They should have beat Kansas City. Imagine if they actually ended up beating Kansas City.
It was close. That was close.
Yeah. And the schedule release is in 2 days on Wednesday.
Oh,
They've already announced the opening Thursday night game. Of course, it's always the defending champion. The Eagles are hosting the Dallas Cowboys NFC East Showdown Week 1. That is really bad. Why would you open up the season showing the Cowboys?
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's just not. And the Lions play at the Eagles and at Baltimore this year.
Wow. At Baltimore is going to be fun.
Yep. When they lose to the Ravens and lose to the Eagles.
All right. We're going to win one of those at least. So Vegas,
And the Chiefs. I don't know if they play the Chiefs.
I doubt it. Vegas has over 6.5 wins for Carolina. So over or under that?
Well, there's 17 games, so 7. Over would be 7 and 10. I'm going to go 6 and 11, so I'm going to go under.
Under. Okay, I'm with you. I will also go under.
So, schedule release happening in 2 days, and Netflix is still hosting 2 Christmas games, along with Prime Video still doing Thursday Night Football, and Prime Video also doing an international game as well. So, anything else with the NFL? I know Derek Carr, I mean, he was older. He wasn't super old, but it's just sad anytime, really in any sport, you have to medically retire.
Yeah. And, it wasn't anything. It wasn't a catastrophic injury, at least to end his.
Thankfully.
I think it was just a lot of things adding up to this. But, you can't be upset for somebody being able to leave the sport, at least making their mark somewhat on the sport. And he got his bag, like I said
He
earlier.
left his mark. He got paid.
Yeah. So
he was getting older. He's playing for a team who's still going to be rebuilding for a few years. They're really bad.
Yeah.
He's injury prone. I thought now was a good time.
Yeah. So good for him for achieving retirement. I think that's a big thing, and I hope the best for him. And who knows, this might not be it. We might see him come back in some sort of media role.
When he was at his peak, like with Oakland, people don't give him enough credit for how good he was.
Yeah, he was pretty
good. And they
man.
won. They competed for the division. This was pre-Kansas City peak, which is what we're in now, kind of. And because it was before Kansas City, Oakland competed for the division almost every year with the tail end of Peyton Manning, Denver.
Yeah.
The Chargers weren't good. So it was really Oakland. So next week we will tell you the schedule release and some of the
Yeah.
big games. So when we come back to wrap things up, we'll show you some soccer highlights. We've got Tigers and Jackson College hosting some baseball and basketball camps. So stay tuned. Welcome back here on JTV. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency and Pataki Orthodontics, and of course, Minuteman Sewer and Drain for helping us bring you all of your high school and college sports coverage on JTV. Before we get to the Tigers and Jackson College hosting a few camps and Lumen Napoleon softball one more time coming up on Wednesday, we have some more highlights to show you. So, girls soccer highlights, Springport, Jackson Christian from JTV Sports. So you can check out photos and more from soccer and all of our other sports in the Orthopedic Rehab Specialist photo galleries online at jtv.tv. Real quick, Tigers lost 2 of 3 over the weekend versus the Rangers.
I kind of figured Rangers have not had a great start to the season, so I kind of figured that was going to happen. But I was happy if we were going to get 2. We get 1 out of the deal. Of course, we won the one with Scooble on the mound. That's fine. Flaherty did not look good.
He really hasn't looked that
He hasn't
good.
looked that great, but I'm hoping that, the rest of our rotation has been very, very good. So I just hope, a little bit less pressure on him. Hopefully he starts to come into true form.
It was cool to see Jackson and Jace Young play
cool.
against each other.
That was
one of
very
them hit
cool.
a homer, too.
Yeah, on Mother's Day with his mom in attendance. So that was pretty cool.
Monday through Wednesday this week, Tigers hosting the Boston Red Sox. Tuesday night on TBS primetime, 6:40 in the Motor City.
Go Tigers.
Yep, Jackson College, real quick, they're hosting a girls' basketball camp June 11th, 6 to 8 p.m., 9th through 12th grade basketball players. $50 a player, and you get a T-shirt.
Hey, it's worth it just for the T-shirt.
Really? Just for the T-shirt?
Just for the T-shirt. You got
I don't blame you.
Free. You got that merch.
And baseball camp, too, June 23rd and 24th, 9 a.m. to noon, boys ages 6 through 13. And one more time, weather permitting, this Wednesday, JTV's first ever live high school softball game. Lumen Christi coach Josh Burgett and the Napoleon Pirates playing to the host Titans Wednesday. First pitch at 4 o'clock will be live at 3:45 on JTV with Minuteman sewer and drain cleaning. So that's going to do it for us. I'm looking forward to softball if the weather changes.
I'm hoping so. Crossing my fingers.
Because last game we got robbed from
That's
JC.
right.
So
That's right.
That's Adam. I'm David. Thank you, the Insurance Circle Agency, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.